the 15th of November 2009. The location? Swannington Village Hall in Leicestershire. The event? The third open day held by the Retro Computer Museum. A band of enthusiasts who one day hope to have their very own museum dedicated to the history of the home microcomputer and of course consoles, some of which date back to the 60s. It's also to be hoped that, as with the open day, a more hands-on approach where people can actually play the games on the original machines. The event was certainly well attended, with people of all ages, and there was plenty on offer. An arcade had been set up with proper arcade machines, even a pinball machine. And if you got hungry, there was plenty of good food available at a reasonable price. There was plenty of retro gaming gear on offer. Also a good selection of Retro Computer Museum merchandise, with anything from mugs to baseball caps. Now, a lot of us are familiar with what games look like today, but let's take that step back in time to how they used to be, and the machines that we used to play them on. Some of the first like this: Intellivision, with very simplistic bat and ball games. One of the first mass-produced home computers, the Sinclair ZX81. Graphics were basic, as they were on some of the early consoles, such as this Atari. Home computing really started to take off in the 80s, with machines like the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, released in 1982, and the Commodore 64, both battled it out for the top micro, though there was plenty of competition from the makes like Amstrad, Oric, Atari, amongst others. Towards the late 80s, a battle began between the console giants of Sega and Nintendo. Sadly, Atari lost out. Though Atari was to produce the excellent Jaguar console, the main battle for console sales was between Nintendo and Sega. That is, until the advent of the Sony PlayStation. However, in the home computer market, we'd gone from 8-bit to 16-bit, with the Atari ST versus the Commodore Amiga. However, throughout the 90s, the Commodore Amiga and ST gave way to the business machines, the PCs and Macs. Meanwhile, back at the open day, the only battle going on was for the Bomberman trophy. Well, certificate actually. Our thanks to the Retro Computer Museum for a most interesting and entertaining day, which we hope to be covering again in the not too distant future.